My friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 4 of the Fender Soprano Ukulele Bridge Reattachment. Okay, so in the last video I was gluing on the bridge, which has now been drying overnight. It's completely set, and off camera I've just touched up around the edges where you could see some of the bare wood, so I touched it up with a little bit of wood stain. So the next stage now is to drill the holes in the bridge for the bridge pins. But before I do that, I'm just going to oil the fretboard. It's quite dry, and if I oil it now, it's going to give it time to dry properly before we string it back up. So I'll just put a little bit of boiled linseed oil on a cloth onto the fretboard. I don't need too much. Okay, that should be enough, more than enough. I'll just give that a minute to soak in and then wipe off the excess. So, as I said before, this instrument has a matte finish, and it can be quite difficult to remove glue and oil and things off of the surface without leaving remnants of it behind. So I've got a little bit of oil on the body there, just making sure I get all of that off first. Okay. Right, so now I'll wipe off the excess off the fretboard, the excess oil. Okay. More. So I neglected to show you the before, but that's the after. Looks really nice now. Okay, so the holes are already marked in the, or they're already pre-drilled part way through on the bridge itself, and you can see there's kind of 2 or 3 steps. So I've already had one disaster with this thing, so I'm going to drill in increments. I'm going to start with a 2mm drill, just very carefully drill through. Okay, that's one. Two. Three. Okay, that's the 4 holes drilled. 2mm. Let's get more of that oil off there. Okay, I just want to try and have a feel inside to make sure that's not splitting out too bad. It seems absolutely fine. can only just reach that, to be honest. Right, so I'll now go up to a 3mm drill bit. Alright, that's 3mm, so now I'll go up to 4mm. I think it's 4mm, yes it is. Right, so that's all of the holes now drilled up to 4mm, and the tear out underneath is very, very minimal. Now, I'm not going to use any more drill bits. What I am going to do to make the hole bigger now is my special reamer. So I've got some bridge pins lined up. I'm going with black ones, so I'll just test fit them at the moment. Yeah, they don't go in very far right now. So I'm going to very carefully ream the hole a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to sneak up on it, just go a little bit at a time. This bridge, it's some kind of rosewood. I'm not sure exactly which species. I hope it's not Brazilian, but it's definitely real rosewood, as opposed to the really cheap bridges that are light coloured wood and then stained dark brown to look like rosewood. But when I was cutting these scallops in the ends, it stayed the same colour. So, and the grain actually goes right the way through. So we know it's a proper piece of solid rosewood. As I said, I'm not sure which species. It's probably Indian rosewood, I would think. And it's quite tough wood. Normally with this reamer, it almost, when I ream the holes in one of those cheap bridges, it almost goes straight through without any effort at all. But this has taken a little bit of work to actually cut into that. Maybe my reamer's a little bit blunt actually. Maybe I'll need to get a new one. Okay, so you can see it's about halfway now, so it's definitely going in the right direction. And I don't want to rush this part. Just take my time and not force the reamer in, just let it do its own work. Okay, that's getting close. Won't take much more to get that to the right size. Right, I'm actually going to leave that there. That looks about right to me. It does look a little bit high, but I've only just pushed it in slightly. It will go in further, and I want them to be really tight. I don't want them loose fitting at all. Okay, so on to the next one. There's a ways to go with that one, yeah. Okay, so you get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm not going to film the whole process. It's exactly the same for all 4 bridge pins. And I'll bring you back when I've got them all done. So I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, so I've got all of those bridge pins in there, holes reamed out more or less to size. They could probably still go a little bit more. But I'll need to test fit the strings and see if I need to ream those holes a little bit more, but it wouldn't take very much if I do need to. They're almost there, but obviously it's better to go too small than go too big, because it's a lot harder to try to make the holes smaller after the fact. So I'm going to end this video here because the next stage will be to fit the strings and fit the saddle and get the saddle cut to the right height for string action. So that will be part 5 coming very soon. So please like, share, subscribe, comment, yada yada yada, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.